What's good, John? Welcome to my review for Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. Just got back from the theater a couple hours ago, and I gotta say, man, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my trailer reaction to the trailers when we got those. I was not really super hyped for this movie or anything. I'm not like a super fan of Resident Evil, as you guys know. I'm more of like a casual fan of that. Like I like the series. I've liked what I've seen of some of the games, but the only one I've actually played is like 6, you know. But so I didn't go in this with much expectations. I was like, you know what, I'll give it a watch, review it for you guys, and if I manage to catch it in theaters, which thankfully I was able to watch in theaters because I don't know if I mentioned this. The Minor, the theater over in Arcata near the college, wasn't screening the movie or the new Ghostbusters movie. They were not screening either one of those. So I was like, all right, fine. Both these came out like late October. I'm like, okay, I'll catch them when I get back home. They'll probably still be screening them at the Ridgecrest Cinema when I get back. Thankfully they were, but I just managed to catch Resident Evil. This was like the final day they were screening it, so I managed to catch in the 11th hour. Ghostbusters, I should hopefully be able to catch that next week and review for you guys, just see if that's any good. But I gotta say, but like I said, I didn't have much expectation with this movie, and I gotta say, I was thoroughly surprised with this film. This was a great movie, honestly. Like, this was a great video game. Definitely out of all the video game movies we've done recently, this is definitely one of the better ones, I would say. And I think it did a really good job of like replicating Resident Evil and getting the style toe down, at least in comparison to what I've heard about the previous films, which I heard were in like a complete separate direction, were nothing like the games. But I would say this one was more accurate to the games, and I think it was overall really, really good. That I would definitely recommend you guys check out if you guys are indeed fans of Resident Evil. But without further ado, man, let's just jump right in. So the movie is directed by Joanne Roberts and stars Kea Scarderlit, I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name, Ava Joga, Hana John, Kamiye, Robbie Amel, and many more. And the plot of Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City was once a booming home of the pharmaceutical giant Umbrella Corp. The Exodus left the city in wasteland to a dying town with great evil brewing below the surface. Now, this movie, as some of you guys could probably guess from the trailers, and I don't know if this was ever like formally confirmed, this movie basically takes Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 and then matches them together in one movie. Now, when you hear these two massive games that both had 2 campaigns each with 2 separate characters and their own separate storylines in each game. In the first game we had, what was it, Jill and Chris, and then for Resident Evil 2 we had Claire and Leon. You think that this would go horribly wrong and the movie would not work at all. But it surprisingly, even though they mashed 2 games into one, it surprisingly worked. Like, obviously, when you watch the movie, you can tell they took way more from Resident Evil 2 than they did Resi 1, but it still shockingly worked as they had Chris and Jill and Wesker. All those guys go to the mansion, do their thing with the mansion, while you had Leon and Claire going with the RPD, being in Raccoon City, dealing with the zombies and everything. It shockingly worked when they went back and forth between these two games. The pacing I thought was overall pretty good, and it didn't really mess with the movie much. I'm shocked how well it worked. It worked way better than it probably should have, if you ask me. At least to me. Like I said, I'm not some hardcore Resident Evil fan. Like I said, I'm more of a casual, but I was shocked with how well the pacing was and how they managed to actually make 2 games work into one. Now, like I said, mostly it does take from Resident Evil 2 more than it does the first game. It's definitely more, I would say 75% Resi 2, 25% Resi 1, but like I said, they still somewhat managed to make it work. So, shout out to them. The cast I thought was over pretty good. Kay I thought was great as Claire. Robbie I thought it was great as Chris. I thought the guy they got for Wesker was pretty good. I thought the overall cast did a decent enough job, especially the chick. Claire and I think Jill are probably some of my favorites. I think they were like some of the standouts for me. I like what we saw both of those characters. I thought the cinematography was actually pretty good. I thought it did a nice job of really replicating the look and feel and the tone of the games. I thought it looked really, really well. The creature designs and the overall the creature designs and the zombie designs themselves looked amazing, especially when they did their take on the iconic zombie turn from the first game. I thought they looked really, really good. I like the design of the zombie. I like what we saw of the liquors, I think is what they're called. Those like for those creatures from Resident Evil 2 that like have their brains exposed and like climb on the walls. I believe they're called lickers. They looked amazing. What we see at the end of the game was, oh, not at the end of the game, at the end of the movie looked great. I'm not going to get into spoilers on it, but I love the design of that creature. And so shout out to all the VFX guys. They did an amazing job replicating the creatures from the games and bringing them into real life with the CG. It looked absolutely amazing, man. Yeah, man, I think that's really all. I think that's like all that's really standing out to me. I think in terms of pros, I think I like the way the game. Like I mentioned before, I like the overall how they managed to combine two games and make it work. The cat design was pretty good, and I thought the cinematography and the creatures themselves looked really good. Now as far as negatives, I would have the only things that really stuck out to me. One, Leon is a complete bumbling buffoon in this movie. Now I get it, Leon's a rookie, but this is Leon S. motherfucking Kenny. You know, one of the most popular Resident Evil characters, the man that be doing fucking backflips and suplexes, fucking German suplexes in Resident Evil 4 and shit, man. Like, he's a complete bum. This dude doesn't even know how to work a fucking shotgun. Like, I know he's a rookie here, but surely he wasn't this much of a buffoon in Resident Evil 2, either the PS1 version or the remake. Surely not. Like, I was shocked. He was basically the butt of jokes throughout the entire movie, man. It was weird. But, another one, but one thing I almost forgot to mention is another one of the cast members that I loved was Donald Laug. Donald Laug, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, who played the police chief. I loved him mostly because of bias, because he also played Harvey in Gotham. And I swear to God, man, does this dude like only play cops? Like, I swear to God, in like the last. In like every movie I've seen with him in recently, he's always played a cop. Gotham, it was Harvey Bullock. Then I recently watched the Max Payne movie on HBO Max a few weeks back. He was a cop there. Then I watched Zodiac, another cop. And now here in the Resident Evil, in Welcome to Raccoon City, he's another cop. Does this man just play cops in movies? But he was a joy to watch, man. I loved him every time he was on screen. Yes, I know that's probably totally covering my bias because he played Harvey in Gotham, and you guys know how much I love Gotham, but still, he was a welcome sight to see, and I always enjoyed him when he was on screen, man. But yeah, back when I was saying negatives, definitely Leon. I wasn't a big fan of his characterization. Like, seriously, why'd they have to do my man Leon like that, man? The disrespect. The only other thing I gotta say is kind of with some of the writing, and I mean, and I explain. I say is I think I feel like, to me, I don't know about y'all, but for me, it felt like there was one too many f-bombs. Like, I swear to God, you could make a drinking game out of how many times they say fuck. Seriously, when next time you watch a movie, take a shot every time someone says fuck in the film. You'll probably end up hammered by the end of the film. Because now listen, you guys know me. I don't give a damn about swearing. You guys know I swear all the fucking time. I love to say fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. But man, do they just say fuck a lot of stuff. They're like, oh, fuck, fuck, fuck. It gets kind of lazy at a point where you're like, okay, can you guys say something other than fuck? You know? You guys know me. I'm not some fucking Puritan that's like, oh, swearing, you. Nah, but I'm like, I feel like there was one too many F-bombs in the film. Like, it's like, did y'all rush out right ideas to just say, oh, just put fuck a bunch of times and that'll get the point across. But yeah, man. Besides that, I thought this was a great film of definitely one of the better video game movies we've gotten as of late. And yeah, man, if you're a Resident Evil fan, I would definitely recommend you guys check this movie out. If you guys haven't already, it's already up on digital now. And hey, if your theater is still screening it, go to your local theater and watch the film. But like, yeah, it's really good, man. I was shocked at how well this movie turned out, man. And I would be down for a sequel. There was a mid-credit scene. A mid-credit scene that obviously was set up for a sequel, which I would be down for. I'm curious what they would do for the sequel. Would they combine Code Veronica with Resident Evil 3? But I would be down for a sequel if we would get one, man. If this movie did do well enough and we are going to be getting a sequel, I will be down for that, man. I thought this movie laid a decent foundation for future Resident Evil movies to follow up on. And I'll be down for a sequel, man. I really did enjoy this film, man. Like I said, definitely recommend you guys check this movie out if you guys are a fan of Resident Evil. So, my final verdict, and also the ending was awesome as well. I love the ending. My final verdict for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is going to be an 8.5 out of 10, guys. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.